All right, let's go. You ready?
Okay.
All right.
Quiet on set.
Yep.
Sorry, what did you do? Okay,
Can I use that?
We need that.
I'm sorry, I just
stimming out right now.
I had to do it, dude.
You gave in to all of my urges for the past 2.5 years. I'm jealous.
Every time I do it, just start screaming.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it now.
Or fart or something.
Quiet on set.
Hi, I'm Myra Moans.
I'm Angel Windell, and welcome back to another episode of Poddy Break. We're joined with my producer Ash Casanova, our showrunner Chris,
Hi.
and joining us for another brand new episode is one of my close friends, one of my favorite performers, businesswoman, ex-fashionista, freaking ex-celebrity fashion consultant, freaking
Retired.
Could work in a law firm. Angel Windell.
Hey! I love the way you describe me.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. You know how to check
I
all the
will
boxes.
say I'm still dressing cute.
Well,
sorry.
And you know what? That's my fault because I forgot to warn you about the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
Can you beep it?
Yeah, of course I can beep it.
Oh, she's so concerned.
Yeah,
No, it's okay. It can be.
We can let the fans know. You know, usually before record, I tell them try not to swear for the first 10 minutes. The rule is by the time you forget, you're not supposed to swear. It's probably okay to swear.
I thought it was the first 10 seconds.
No, 10 minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing is like when you're talking about the industry, pretend you're talking to like a supportive aunt who wants to hear about it. So there's a lot you can say, but you probably wouldn't say like this went inside of that, and then using the most graphic
I love how we're
terms.
getting the producer talk on camera. Like
Yeah, we're just
I'm
getting
loving
that.
this.
You guys-
The
BTS.
fans need to know.
They do honestly.
Yeah.
If any of y'all are ever gonna come on, you need to know these rules.
Yeah.
Yep, we really suck at following rules. That's
Yeah.
why we are in this industry.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, actually, I feel like this industry is an industry full of people who literally cannot follow rules for the life of them.
Mhm.
Yes, and
And that's why our editor gets paid a lot
Yes.
to fix all of those things.
Yes,
I was
thank you,
going to say,
editor.
and that is why we have the editor.
Thank you, editor.
But you're allowed though. So you're talking about your outfit and you're wearing a Gucci belt, girl. So
Yes.
you know, we'll let it slide.
Thank you.
She came with the Louis
Oh my
bag
gosh.
too. I know you peeped that.
we saw that.
I
We
know
saw
you
that.
peeped that Louis
I saw
bag.
that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Some guy bought this for me on Rodeo Drive.
Oh, lit.
I was like, thank you. Oh
my God.
Everyone says they're out, but like it's snatching me.
No,
So,
I don't know. I would never got over the Gucci belt.
I'm
I
going
never
for
did.
professional.
Yeah, no, it's giving.
I'm
It's
trying
giving
to
law
have people
firm.
take me more seriously. I used to work in a law firm.
Yeah, see that there it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I tell a behind the scenes story about you about the first time you did our podcast that I tell a bunch of people?
Go for it, whatever.
So the first time you ever did our podcast, you stayed for lunch and we had lunch downstairs and there was this girl moving out and she dropped her purse and then Anthony like helped her pick it up. She was like carrying a bunch of stuff and he told her like, guys, that was like a Fendi purse. That was like $300,000. And in the back of my
I remember
head, I was like, there's no way. Purses
Yeah.
don't get that anywhere close to that
You
much
mean
amount of money.
Hermes purse?
Okay, maybe it was that.
She dropped a Birkin on the floor.
Oh,
And it was like a
yeah.
crocodile Birkin.
Yeah, no, I remember
It
when you-
looked real.
Yeah, I remember when you clocked that. Actually, I do remember that.
Yeah, and I tell the people that story all the time because in the back of my head, I was like, purses don't get that expensive.
Yes,
Like,
they
there's
do.
no way. That's like, that's
do, honey.
That's a house, you know? And then I was
Yeah.
like looking it up and I was like, holy moly.
Yeah,
I almost swore. I stopped
yeah. We
myself.
almost got Chris. We almost got Chris. So close.
I had this like blackout this week and it was like the last 2 weeks. I ordered 5 designer bags.
What?
But they're all resale. I discovered this new app where you can buy designer bags on like an auction.
Uh-huh.
It's called Whatnot.
Uh-huh.
And I'm addicted. And I haven't even spent that much money, but I've bought all my friends' bags. I'm working on yours. And like, I just can't stop. And I think like if anyone wants a
Angel.
bag, hit me up. I'll get you a bag.
Angel, we have to stop you.
I'm sorry.
No, I know this is an
She
addiction.
can't be stopped.
It can't be stopped. Oh,
Well,
wow.
after
I hit
I
my
get
knee and it
one.
like kicked my leg.
After I get one, we have to stop this addiction,
Yeah,
guys.
once Myra gets her purse, we gotta
it's
stop
over.
you.
I'm putting my foot down after I get my bag, guys.
Here you go. I can't stop.
A check
No, I don't
under
blame
your
you.
seat right now.
Everybody, look under your seat. We have a designer bag for you, courtesy of Angel. Yes. You get a designer bag. You get a designer bag. And you get a designer
And you
bag.
get a restraining order. And you get a restraining order.
Oh my God. Sorry,
I
wait, no,
don't- yeah.
Avian first.
Well, let me say one more thing
Yeah.
about purses. I did date a girl. I dated her for a while. It was like over a year. I think maybe close to 2 years, and she was into purses, but she was into Coach bags.
And
that's
kind of mid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this
They're
is
cute
what
classic. But
this is where our price range was at.
Oh.
So that's
Actually,
that's the only I would
They're
say.
trending. They're cool.
Yeah.
They're like on this. They're like on a cooler level. They're a cool girl. They're chic again.
yeah, they're definitely coming back into style.
Yeah, like
for sure.
everyone's getting them. I literally just got one for Serena Hill.
I do love a Coach bag.
And it's
I
so
like them. They're
cute.
classic and cute. I just
And I gave one to Melody Marks. Oh no, she gave me one for my birthday, and then I gave her a Tory Burch.
Oh, that's cute.
We're like, we all want the bags, but you're not supposed to buy them for yourself. So if we all just keep doing this, it doesn't count.
That's
You'll
so
get the
funny.
bag. Ow, I just hit myself. I got makeup on your mic. Sorry. All right, watch. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, that's my only like, and I didn't want to like. She was had a very specific taste, so I just had her pick her out like on her birthday and Christmas. Like, okay, what purse do you want?
That's
Yeah.
so
And
funny.
then,
I don't know, dude. I never really did fall into like the bag culture too much. Like I have a lot of purses and stuff, but I never really fell into like the designer bag thing yet. I do like to get one like once a year, if even, but yeah, I usually don't even do that. I'm pretty frugal. Like I don't.
No,
yeah.
me too. That's why these like resale sites like the Real
Yeah.
Real and
Now that you're
whatnot
telling me about
are
that, I'm
awesome.
screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last night, I ordered a wallet. I'll show you an example. This is a Louis Vuitton wallet, and you can get an insert for them, and you can add a chain to the insert. And these wallets turn into like a mini shoulder bag. So when you go out, you can fit your phone and your ID and your bougie, but you could get the whole thing done in under like $300.
That's so lit. Wait, okay, now I'm screwed.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I got one for my
$300.
sister
That's
last
pretty. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, no, it's not
Exactly.
bad.
And you're like, oh, I have a Louis Vuitton bag. Oh my God. And like,
yeah, and I
That's
like
bushy.
the little ones. Like
I like the way people treat me when I walk in with my designer bag.
That's
you get the
true.
VIP. You look expensive. You look like a diva. They're going to give you respect. It's messed
true.
up. It's really
Yeah.
messed up.
Literally, one of my other jobs is I help produce for a TikTok live shop that's all like resale handbags, like luxury handbags.
What?
So honestly, you'll find some really good deals too. So shout out to Daps Handbags.
that's
Check
so
me out on
link.
TikTok. You might see me streaming.
Seriously, do you still do it?
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
so
gosh.
funny.
We got to talk.
Yes, girl.
You're my plug now, my bag plug.
Yeah, I heard they get like K-pop stars to do TikTok, like what you were talking about, where they like sell stuff.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, they'll get like K-pop stars. It's like a good way to make a lot of money.
Yeah. It's addictive. I grew up like dreaming of bags. And then when I went to college, I went to ASU where everyone's dad bought them a designer bag. And
Wait, where's ASU?
Arizona State in Scottsdale, where everyone has rich parents. And I was
I'm
like
from Arizona.
paying for
definitely not that
college
place,
with I was paying for college with SW. And so I pretended I was being spoiled by my, rich parents, but I could never get a designer bag.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was telling this story to my boyfriend this week and I started crying because I was hormonal.
Oh.
And then he was like, I didn't know how much it meant to you. Then the next day he's like, don't order a Chanel. I got you a vintage Chanel. And I was like, wait, what?
A vintage Chanel?
I can't now I like Louis Vuitton because it's not horribly reasonable or horribly expensive resale, but Chanel's expensive. So
I love Chanel. Chanel's are like my
thanked
favorites.
him.
Oh.
I really did.
I'm sure you did, girl. I'm
I
sure
thanked him.
you thanked him for hours.
I did.
And then and when I met him in the lot outside, he did seem thankful. He seemed
Yeah,
thankful.
did he seem upbeat?
Yeah, he had a
He's
big
so
smile on
nice.
his face. He's like, "Oh, this guy is appreciative."
Shout out to Mr. Windell. He
Shout
is
out.
for the girls. And
Yeah.
like whenever he comes home with flowers, he'll like bring them for my friends too that are staying at the house.
that's so
He's like
sweet.
a girl's girl.
Yeah, he's a sweet guy. I met Mr. Windell. He's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually met Mr. Windell at AVN. It was really nice.
He was there. He was walking the carpet at the white party with me. And then he obviously couldn't go on the red carpet because he's not technically a talent. He works with me on OF, but he doesn't
Shoot mainstream.
do mainstream.
Right.
He is in mainstream media though. So
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Mr. Windell. We love Mr. Windell.
yes, we're gonna have a wedding. We're gonna have like our industry wedding and then a family one because I
love
know that
that.
after a few drinks, I can't trust y'all around my grandma. I just can't.
Honestly, not
I think
me.
you could code switch maybe to the family one.
I could.
Yeah,
But
not everyone.
not everyone. Eventually, I would be going up to grandma like, hey.
Dude, at my graduation, my grandma was dared to play beer pong and there was only one cup left at the graduation party on either end. And she hobbles over there and my abuela grabs like a the ball and throws it and makes it on the first shot, and everyone went insane crazy.
That's so funny,
And
dude.
it was so funny.
Okay,
So
grandma got heat.
she can low key hang.
Okay. No, I'd probably be cutting up with your grandma, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's like my partner or my boyfriend's parents are from Kentucky, so they're very classy,
Oh.
and I don't want to embarrass him.
Well, girl, I'm from Alabama, you know. I know
Oh,
about that
yes, this is
southern-
true.
Mhm,
This is true.
mhm.
I'm loving
If
the
you
Southern.
need like a stand-in Southern friend to make you look good, I got you.
Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Myra's great.
Yeah, you know.
I think
Well,
multiple weddings sounds pretty
Lit.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Expensive.
we had on my other podcast we had Ellie Clutch on, and she was talking about
I love her.
what she's doing for her wedding.
What is she doing?
She's
Same
gonna
thing?
so she just recently bought a farm with her partner,
No.
so they're gonna have
way.
a small wedding on a farm.
they're so
I gotta ask her
cute.
if I could hit up her farm for mine.
Yeah,
That's
ask
so
her.
cute.
Yeah.
I love their relationship.
They're so cute.
Ellie Clutch and Jack Knife. I
Jack
call him
Knife,
Jack.
yeah.
Sorry. Awesome people.
Yeah, no, they're great.
I heard
Beautiful
yeah,
content.
I don't I don't know that, like, I'm still learning about your industry, but I heard Jack be referred to as the industry's boyfriend.
Yeah, he's cool.
Do you think that's
I don't know
accurate?
him personally, but he's really sweet
Yeah.
to everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. I've met him a few times. He's really cool. Yeah, I haven't worked with him yet. I haven't worked with Ellie yet, but we always see each other in passing. We have a lot of friends of friends, so we always like are hanging out outside of work, and they're really good people. I like. them
Yeah,
a
she's
lot.
so nice.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, and she's doing really good on
Yeah,
ranking right now, and
yeah,
she's
proud of her.
doesn't do mainstream. She's like
Mhm.
independent.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just love how impressive that is.
Yeah, no, I love to
Something
see
to
my
look up
friends
to.
winning. Yeah, for sure. It's always a good feeling seeing my homies like up there for sure.
And then also Jack is on the yes list, which we can get into what that means later.
Yeah.
But
yeah, right.
he's just like a safe person to work with.
In general.
Voted by I think like over 117 girls have confirmed that he's awesome. So
yeah.
Well,
so he's a good
maybe
guy.
before we get into the yes list, we can talk about the yes list that you were on, where you got yesed into some pretty cool prestigious awards.
thank you so much.
Oh yeah,
Um,
show them babies off.
You want to grab one of them because they're heavy.
Fuck it, I'll help you out. Oh my god, jeez, they are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So actually, Myra was sitting next to me at AVN
It
Awards.
was. Jesus Christ. I'm glad.
And
kind of glad I didn't
I-
get one now. Jesus.
This is heavy, right?
Yeah, I don't know about all
And
that.
I was not expecting to win anything. Like genuinely, even you knew that.
Yeah,
I was
I
like, we
know.
can go.
No, like she wasn't dressed for it. She was not ready for it. I mean, she looked
Yeah.
amazing, so I don't know what she meant
Thank
by
you.
wasn't dressed for it.
well, I bought a $30, $29 dress
but
from
you made it
Fashion
look
Nova.
so good though. is the
Thank
thing.
you. But if I had known that I had a chance, because I was nominated against like Angela White.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh,
prestigious
she's
names.
taking them home.
Yeah.
But I guess, Deeper makes really good scenes.
Yeah, no,
and they
they're
just
awesome.
produced something really beautiful. And then my co-star was Chris Diamond, and he's
Yeah.
like, I think he's from Spain, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I think
I'm vaguely
The
familiar.
point is, he is just so awesome, like as a performer,
Mm-hmm.
and it won an award. And I went up there, and I didn't have a speech prepared. I forgot to thank Deeper, so I want to do that now. Thank you, Deeper Vixen. That was really cool. And I went up there, I was crying my eyes out, and then I went backstage and I was bawling my eyes out.
Oh.
And the photos, I look like completely cracked out because I'm
Yeah.
just like in literal shock. I was shaking and trembling,
Oh,
but it was really cool. I just had a really tough upbringing,
yeah.
and this was kind of like a very big moment.
Oh,
This was, and I've been industry fan since before I was in the industry. Like
Right.
I know everyone's name and all the history because I've been, consuming for a long time. So this was crazy, and I just was in shock, and I still
Yeah.
am. Like every time I think about it, I usually cry. I'm not going to cry right now,
Oh,
but it was cool. And
Yeah.
when I went up there, I was like, I used to be homeless. Now I'm a responsible performer.
yeah.
I really was living in a car like right before I got into this industry, and
Wow.
I cannot believe I pulled this off. This scene I filmed in the first like few weeks of me being in this industry.
Oh,
So it was really cool. And I think it was a karma thing. There was a bully of mine in this industry who said I was too old, too tattooed, and too fat, which is crazy.
that part.
The
That
fat
girl,
part's crazy because I am definitely like trying to put on even more weight
Yeah.
than I do.
No. Yeah.
But to even nominate my work, she was like,
Yeah.
don't even nominate your work. And I
Yeah.
didn't. And other people did. And then it got nominated. And then I saw who it was nominated against. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go for fun.
Yeah.
And then when I won it, I literally left my body. I was like, what?
Oh.
But I felt like that was a lesson to all the bullies in the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's karma. That's what you get. I felt like that was for her.
Mm.
She was sitting in the back. And then when I walked out of this ceremony, I walked past her and she started screaming at me.
Really?
So,
Oh, wait, she did?
Yeah,
You never told me about this.
I walked up to the SLR team and I was like, guys, I won an award. And then they're like, you won another one, right? I was like, I won 2 awards. I won one with your crew and then one with Deeper.
Right.
And I didn't realize she was like standing right there. And she went, and like turned around and screamed and ran out of the room. Like,
Really?
She just hates me winning so much.
That girl is so freaking crazy. I know this girl. She's
That's
insane.
Yeah, that's insane. Like,
She's blacklisted for sure by many people.
Many people will not work with her. I'm
She's
included.
unsafe.
Yeah, she's a very unsafe person.
She has screamed at me and like come at me at multiple events because she just cannot stand not being the best. It's an insecurity problem, and I highly recommend Pineapple support for that.
Yeah.
Remember them?
Yeah.
You're funny.
The ones who did mechanic work on my brain and fixed me up.
He said
But this was cool. This was the Best Boy Girl award scene, and to all of
and
those
that's
people,
like one of the biggest prestigious
very
ones,
prestigious.
right?
I'm going to get into why I was flexing this award this week, because I had some people come at me calling my career irrelevant because I unionized 2 weeks ago for performers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Best Boy Girl scene is a huge category.
It's a very big deal.
And the people who were bullying me were also nominated and they didn't win. So I think it was really a jealousy issue. And then this one is Best VR Group Scene with Lola Faye, John Strong. It was called the Goth Girls Tea Party by SLR Originals.
Which is a
This was so random.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
Pretty good category though. Best VR group scene.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I was also nominated for that scene. Hey, glad
This
you
was
got it.
fun.
At least one of us got it.
I like helped do the makeup on this set to make us look goth. So that was cool.
Aw,
I started a
lit.
beauty like group too. So if you guys need your beauty done for scenes, you can always call me. It's like a part-time thing. I just do it for fun. I love it. I mean, obviously you have to pay for the service because it's expensive.
You know, on my other podcast, we had like a solo episode where we were talking about like what we want long-term goals, and one of them was that I'm considering hiring like a makeup girl because now I'm not used to having so many female guests on, and they're, you know, I want to make sure that they're happy with how they look. So yeah, maybe that is something that maybe you can point us in the right direction, or maybe we can pay you to come on set.
Yeah, I am still working on launching the makeup side. I'm mostly a hair person. I finished my hair extension course yesterday, so that's kind of the vibe for me.
Congrats.
Thank you guys.
Okay. Oh,
But
wrong one.
I do have a family member who wants to do makeup and team up with me, but she's in college, so we're just waiting until she is on breaks to come out here and do makeup with me, and we'll team up and probably go on set together. And she'll do the makeup, I'll do the hair, but we'll do all kinds of stuff, not only for adult performing, but mainstream film too, which is cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's a good goal.
Or Fashion Week. I used to do Fashion Week, and so I have those connections, and I was like, we should do Fashion Week together.
Yeah.
So it was so cool to work with my family best friend.
That would
I
be
don't want to
lit.
give out any details on who this person is.
Yeah.
They don't really want to be recognized for this, but it's exciting.
Yeah, well, that's
It is
awesome, dude.
exciting.
We just
Congrats
love
on
beauty.
that.
It's
Yeah.
girls' time. I like girl time. I like sitting there while people vent about their life, and I make them feel good about themselves. I like being like kind of a therapist.
Yeah, no, I mean, most
It's
women in the industry, in the beauty industry, are like active working therapists as well as an esthetician. Like, the amount of times I've gotten a facial done and like, or my nails done, and like been literally reviewing some of the craziest parts of my life with that random ass nail tech. Like, it's insane. It's
Seriously.
very therapeutical. I think that's another thing. We were talking about this a while back. Like, I don't know. There needs to be more spaces for women to be women. We love girl time. We love being women together. We love celebrating womanhood, and that is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So can I talk about the union?
Oh yeah. Speaking of womanhood, yes.
So 2 weeks ago, I had the idea to start a group chat where we can all talk about our experiences, good and bad, in the industry, and kind of give each other a heads up of who to keep an eye out for, who you should and shouldn't work with. At the end of the day, you have the autonomy over your own body. And if you work with someone that we don't recommend, we still support you. It is your choice and your body. But it's helping a lot of newer performers.
Yeah, for sure.
who don't know, who has a lot of these people who have a lot of allegations that would put you in an unsafe situation.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the people who've been in the industry like for as long as us, for the most part, we already know what's going on. But had I had a list like that or some type of support like that when I first got in, I probably could have avoided a lot of people. Like I'm gonna say here and now on record, nothing bad has ever happened to me in this industry. Nothing bad has ever happened to me in this industry. I've had literally good experiences all throughout my time in this industry. But that's just because I'm a lucky person. Now, I have worked with people. Yeah, I have worked with people who I have known to give more than 3 people bad experiences, people that are close to me, people that are not close to me. I have worked with plenty of people who have been giving people bad experiences. I think, I was lucky because I was the type of person to never go off, be alone with somebody. I was always near the director. I was always smart and I don't want to say smart and safe, but I was always just pretty timid anyway. So I never really got into anything. But yeah, there's a lot of people that I regret working with because I don't want any new girl to stalk my page and be like, oh, that person, she worked with him, so I can work with him. Oh, basically, I wish that I never worked with certain people because I don't want to give the impression to other people that they're okay to work with.
Well,
even though I didn't have a bad time, I know other people did.
The other thing about you that maybe it's a good reason not to just stalk your page and be like, oh, because Myra's working with someone, then that means it's okay. You're really good at setting boundaries.
Yeah, I am.
That's not something that everyone is capable of.
Yeah,
so that's why something like what you're doing is so important.
Yeah.
Sort of the people that aren't like that aren't as vocal with standing up for themselves, because that is difficult and it is a scary thing to do.
Yeah.
A lot of the girls in this industry have had really tough upbringings, and that still kind of bleeds into setting boundaries and having a voice to advocate for yourself. And I've had a lot of phone calls on, hey, I don't want to do this today. How do I tell my agent or the director? Yeah. And I'm always like, just say it and don't let them. And when they, try to convince you to do something you don't want to do, tell them you've made your final decision. This is a non-negotiable, or remove yourself. And you'd be surprised how many people ask for that advice. Yeah. But it's been awesome that we have, a lot of girls in the group, well over 100 girls and maybe 5 haters. So the ratio is great. Yeah. I get a lot of men that message me and are thankful that we're doing this. But we made a non-published private yes and no list. And it's just a list where if you have had multiple allegations, you have a warning on you. It's a red flag list. And you can go and check that list before you're seen, see if that person has a good or bad reputation. And then you can, next to that person's name is kind of a summary of what they got the reputation for. Yeah. And then you can directly ask the group, should I work with this person or not, and why? Yeah. And then make the decision for yourself.
Right, exactly.
We've reached out to a lot of guys on the yes list and thanked them for having that standard on set where you feel safe and protected. A few of them I want to shout out is Cody Steele, Jack Knife, awesome person to work with, Zane Walker, one of our favorites. Those are some of my favorite guys to work with. There's so many more, but if you ever want to know who is on your team and who's going to protect you on set, you can reach out to us and we will give you some recommendations. A lot of people are worried about, am I going to get sued for this? You cannot get sued for a private chat. It is not possible to sue for that. For defamation, defamation can only happen if you are publishing this. And we have no intentions of publishing this. But we do have a project we're doing, which is a multi-part documentary on the industry. My boyfriend is an investigative journalist, and he has done some really big documentaries for multiple different topics that are non-industry related. And when I brought up the issues we have with this industry, he was very interested in helping me produce this. Wow. So we won't do anything in that documentary without people's consent and release first. We're not pulling anything from that group chat, but we will reach out to multiple people who have already volunteered to tell their story. And the point is to help us challenge the industry, get better regulations, and maybe even get legislation involved so that we can have some laws that protect us on set. You'd be surprised how little protections we have and how much goes under the rug. and it doesn't need to be happening. This should be a safe industry. All of us love what we do for a living.
Yeah.
We just want it to feel protected like a normal job. Most jobs have an HR.
Yeah.
So that's what
True.
we're doing. And, you know, we might be planning boycotts. We might be doing all kinds of things. This has been an unsuccessful thing. For a while, there's been many no-list group chats and whatnot.
Yeah.
This one isn't going to be unsuccessful. This one will not stop until we get where we want to be. Everyone is very driven. We have attorneys involved. We have insurance involved. We have professional documentarians involved. It's going to be a big deal. I'm also related to a politician, so I can get a lot of information on how to do this on a bigger scale for people. And that's, you know, a promise. It's a threat that I want you guys to not worry about, because I'm going to make a difference here. And it's not all me. It's going to be a lot of people involved, big and small creators. Some of the top industry performers are involved in this, the people who have the most influence. So that's really exciting. We even have like directors, companies involved. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of agents shaking in their boots right now, very nervous because we're going to make things a little bit more intrusive. I want them to know that we're watching them and we are taking note of every single thing that happens on set.
Yeah, definitely. Because honestly, I'm the type to really let a lot of stuff slide and just be like, whatever, you know, go with the flow. But even since having that group chat, I'm like, okay, but at least I can like let y'all know about like little stuff that goes on, because you know, I don't know, I feel like people are afraid to do stuff in front of me, which is why nothing ever happens to me for the most part. Like I genuinely feel like people fear to do that to me because, like, you know, I don't have a problem with anybody. So if I have a problem with you, then you look really bad. But yeah, no, like the other day I was just on set and yeah, fuck you, OC. I'm so mad at you. They told their model, I'm pretty sure, not to disclose that it was his first scene, and he just shot his first scene with me and didn't disclose it till right after the pop shot. He goes, yeah, now I feel comfortable letting you all know it's my first scene. I was like, oh, now you do. Cool.
That's very unprofessional.
So unprofessional, so messed up. He was a sweet guy, like, you know, and he, like, this is his first scene. Like, he's just doing what people tell him, so no shade to the guy, like, none at all. Like, I'm sure he'll be a good talent. Although I don't think he's meant for this industry. I'm going to say that right now. Yeah, no, it was just like, you know, you're supposed to disclose that for sure. And even just something as little like that, I could just type in the group chat, hey, just so y'all know, beware of OC. Like, they might try to throw a new model on you. So just definitely make sure you inquire. If you can't find any scenes with them, inquire that if it's their first scene or not. And just something as simple as that. It's like not like anybody got hurt or anything or nothing happened. It's just, you know, something like
there
that.
should be a standard where everything is
well,
disclosed.
That is a standard. You are supposed to fucking let people fucking know if it's your first fucking goddamn fucking scene.
You see how triggering it is when you like push someone into a position where they don't want to be? That's why we need regulations. We need to have some sort of, because there are a few, but like they're not being intrusive enough. They're not showing up to set. We need on-set advocates for the performers. I mean, we need some sort of app where you can rate the director, the producer, the company, the makeup artist, the talents.
The makeup artist, the ball, heavy on the makeup artist, heavy on that makeup artist.
Yes,
come down on her,
everyone
bro.
needs to
Sorry,
be
y'all know my beef with makeup
on
artists.
a rated scale where you can put a review in at the end of your scene, rate them, 1 to 5 stars or whatever.
Y'all think I get 5?
On safety, on professionalism, on hygiene. Those kinds of things are important. That would actually put a lot of pressure on people to act correct.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure holding them to a standard and like actually having it all written down would definitely keep everyone in check. The thing is, like, yeah, that OC thing didn't really, I mean, it has me more aggravated than violated because I will say here on record right now, I am nobody's first scene. I'm not here to help anybody learn. I've done this for 2.5 years now and I don't have the patience to deal with that on set. I just don't. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to create something. Like, you know, when I was new, I was more than willing to help other new people get their footing, but like, that's just not where I am anymore. Especially like for a female talent, it's a little bit different. I can help her. I know what I'm doing. I know what she's doing. But for a male talent, there is nothing that I can do to help a male talent on his first scene. Why you would give him to me makes no sense. I mean, no, it does make sense. I'm a very easy female talent to work with, so you better be glad that you put him with me. But if you put him with anybody else, he would have failed that scene. So y'all better never do that again, OC.
That's right.
Had me so mad.
The first week that I was running this group chat, I had to read hundreds of stories about girls being raped, assaulted, beaten, stolen from, verbally assaulted too.
Yeah.
It broke me down. My boyfriend too, he couldn't stop crying for days. It really mentally affected me. I didn't realize that what I was signing up for would make me feel mentally that broken, but I did what I had to do to take care of myself, and I got back into it. I took like a couple days off.
You got it. Sometimes you got to clear your head.
But I just seeing the magnitude of stuff being swept under the rug was horrifying. And we all needed the support. Even if nothing ever came out of this chat, the fact that we had a place to go to talk about this stuff, because a lot of girls are afraid to go to the police, because how often does the police really do anything for you?
I mean, for women in general, then women in this industry, that's like even a smaller margin that shit actually gets done.
So it just was crazy. I mean, I've shared some of my own personal horror stories on set where things have happened to me too, but it was just really, really hard. And
no matter where you stand on the group chat, like no matter what side of the group chat you stand on, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, there's one thing that we can all definitively agree on, and that is that the cops do not help sex workers. We can all firmly agree on that. It does not matter if you agree with the group chat or not. We all know that, like, unfortunately. So yeah, there's like, for example, I won't share her name, but one of my performer friends, she was assaulted or outside of the industry by a man, and I took her to the police department, and they denied her a rape kit because they found a dildo in her purse. They didn't take her seriously. That's really fucked up.
So there's, that's why we have to get some of the government involved in this, and I am not afraid to do that. Yeah. But it's going to require doing some really professional documentary work. So keep an eye out for that.
If I can also kind of like hop on to like the whole defamation part. I know you already mentioned this, but I have been part of a big defamation case, and I lost zero sleep over it because it's not defamation if what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
And then also in the United States, but also specifically California, it's one of the hardest cases to win is suing someone for defamation. So if what you're saying is true, it's not considered defamation, and there's a lot of people that back up all the claims that are being made in those group
also,
chats,
you have to sue about 150 people for defamation. So good luck on that.
One other thing is the person who is producing our documentary, it has a license for journalism where you actually cannot sue them for anything.
Oh, I'm lit. I like that.
And they're insured too. So we don't have to worry about any backlash. But there are some specific agents that should be watching their back, because I am researching, and I think everyone knows exactly who I'm talking about. And those big reputations will no longer be big. One other thing that I'm working on is getting my license to be an agent in 2026. I already have a wait list of people that want to sign with me. And I'm really excited because I will have the safest, most professional, highest paid, classiest, best agency that I think this industry will ever have. Those big names that you see will be nothing compared to Windell when it launches. Aww. So I'm really excited. I have some of the top performers in the world waitlisted right now, ready to leave other agents because they're tired of being exploited. And I'm just super excited to have their back. This is like something that I've always wanted to do. But I think that before I get into it, I want to do some of this other work first so that when I launch, I can do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
But it's going to be great. And I think that if you're tired of your agent, email me and we can talk about getting you on, because you will be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Is it common for former performers to become agents?
No.
Yeah. Well, sometimes here and there.
Sometimes,
we have some,
but not always.
It's not common for former performers to become agents, but it's common that agents are former performers.
That's how I should have worded it.
There's like, I would say like maybe a third of them have been, but they were no listed and then became agents. They were not safe. And then while they're agents, a lot of these agents also have done illegal things to their, allegedly have been assaulted their girls and exploited them or trafficked them. And that just will never ever happen to the girls that I represent. We also are working on an all boys agency that will not launch probably till 2027. I got to do one at a time. Girls, ladies first, boys second. First. But I want to have a very elite, safe list of men that are highly regulated and just stunning.
That's awesome.
You know, they'll show up on time. They'll do a good job. I will show up to their sets and watch them regularly perform. Same for the girls. And you'll just never see an agent quite like me. It's really cool.
That's awesome, dude. I'm like really proud of you. I'm glad that you kind of like found like your next like path, I guess, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've been a sex worker for 10 years next year.
Yeah. Well, congrats.
And physically, you got to retire at some point. There are some legends that can go on forever. I am physically like,
You're over it?
Not over it. I still want to produce my own OnlyFans stuff with my boyfriend, but you cannot be a performer and an agent in the state of California. It's illegal.
Yeah.
So if anyone's doing that, I know you're not supposed to be. I will not be doing that because you're not supposed to be doing that.
Okay.
So you'll have your license revoked. But I can still make my own private stuff.
Heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, just going to set has been fun. My first, like, I think it was right when I hit like 6 or 7 months, I already shot 100 scenes. Wow. I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of injuries throughout the first 2 years I've been in. I'm in 2.5, maybe 3 years.
Same.
3 years in April.
Wait, 3 years in April?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait.
I think.
Since this? This industry? Because you started a little after me, right?
Yeah, I think you're almost at your 3rd year. Love.
No, I just said 2.
When did you hit 2?
Last February.
February?
2025.
Oh, maybe I'm 2 years in.
Yeah, you're 2 years in.
I am? Okay, sorry. One thing I suck at is timelines.
No, for real.
Speaking of which, it's because I quit smoking weed.
Period.
And weed has made my memory terrible. And ever since I quit, I am like the sharpest version of myself. Awesome. But when people ask me about timelines, I'm like, I don't know what happened the last few years. My timeline is so off.
I feel you.
So sorry about that. But
no, you're good.
Yeah, 2 years, I guess. I'm in 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've shot so many scenes. And then before that, I've just done so many different lines of this industry. And I am tired.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
my back hurts.
Yeah.
My coochie. I just want to give it to my man.
Busy. Sorry.
Yeah, I want to protect it.
Callback. We love a good callback.
But I'm excited to do other things.
Yeah.
I just really care about women. I'm like a big time feminist.
Yeah, no, I know. I've always known that about you since I met you. Like, you always give me like a good feminist, bisexual vibe. Yeah.
Thank you.
I know that we've like off camera, we've glazed you a lot. But also, I think it's important to do it on camera and be like, I know that we've a million times we said how proud we are of you and how like happy we are of you. But also, like on top of that, it's just like you're so selfless and you help so many people out that if someone was, it makes so much sense of what you're doing now. It feels like the natural path for you. But man, if someone was gonna win something big, I'm really thankful that it was you, someone who was like a good example and a good role model. You guys are making me
tear up. Thank you.
For people. No, we should be thanking you for all the like help you've offered us.
You've been so sweet to us.
Thank you guys. I mean, like, who had my back when I needed them? Nobody. And I want to be that person. Yeah. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I wanted to say too is that you can tell that your endeavors that you're approaching are going to work because you're so passionate about it, because you want to inform yourself and you want to inform others. And it's not just about bashing those people. It's not just about those no lists. That's why yours will succeed, is because you want to have transparency and you want people to be held accountable. And because of that, I think that's
it's coming from a place of you want to protect people. Yeah. It's not that you want to hurt other people. It's that you want to make sure that people are being protected.
I feel like, probably maybe
probably a couple people that I want to hurt, but that's personal. I want to hurt people that hurt people.
Yeah,
with accountability and transparency, as you're saying.
Yeah, and you took the time to shout out the men who are doing it right and the people who are doing it right. And I think in doing that, it is going to create that higher stance, that elite that you're talking about, and it might raise the rates because now this is an industry that's grown and evolved, and you don't have to like have all those little, whatever else has been happening, you guys are going to get paid more. People are going to be treated better.
Exactly. I think that the minimum rate per shoot should be $5,000 starting for a new girl. $5,000. We are having sex on camera.
Yeah. Let's get real here, guys.
We're using our genitals.
Yeah.
It is a very sacred part of our body. Many religions focus on that. And so as non-religious, like we still feel that way. We still feel like this is really precious. And sharing that with somebody is a big deal. And getting $1,200, $1,900 for doing that is exploitation.
Especially since you guys don't get residuals.
That's what I was gonna
No
say.
residuals. It's robbing us.
The thing is, if we got residuals or something, it'd be a lot different. But the thing is, we get a lump sum at the beginning, and it's such a fraction of what they make off of the entire video,
They
let
make
alone
millions
the whole site.
off of some of our scenes, and we walked away with what, $1,000?
Yeah, like a very small lump sum.
That's
So-
not okay.
Yeah.
So
And then it's like everything that I've heard is that like they've cut the budget for shooting scenes by so much compared to what it used to be. So it's like, okay, if you're not gonna.
Another thing is that, we're still making the same rates that we were making in the 80s and 90s, and inflation has skyrocketed drastically. And I mean, we've had a lot of changes throughout the industry. We've gone from DVD to, full streaming. But with those differences, it affects the sales and it doesn't because, back then it was much more lucrative. You had to go to the convention, buy the DVDs, go down to the store, buy the DVDs. Like you had to buy physical copies. So it was more pricey. It was more lucrative. But at the same time, now it's easier to sell to a large scale. So
And they don't have to worry about manufacturing all the DVDs and stuff either.
Right. So it is and it isn't much more lucrative now. It's easier to find it online for free now. But at the same time, like this and that. So there's companies are making a lot more and some companies aren't making as much. Like it really is like a situation by situation case. But the point is inflation has skyrocketed and we're still making the same rates we were making in the 80s and 90s, which is absolutely
if
absurd.
you can't afford
It's
to do this
absurd.
industry, then you shouldn't be in it.
Yeah.
You should not be producing if you cannot afford to not exploit the girl.
100%. And also, what do I know? I'm new to learning about your guys' stuff, but it just, to me, saying that they're not making the same amount of money anymore, it's not passing the smell test to me.
Yeah.
Especially with now that I think OnlyFans kind of exposed how much money you could actually be making from subscription-based
Sophie
models.
Rain made allegedly $43 million.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
And that's subscribing to one girl compared to subscribing to like a website where you're getting thousands of girls and scenes.
If you ever need OnlyFans coaching, I have multiple sources that can help you because having that power raises your rates too.
Yeah.
I'm not the best person to coach, but I do have an assistant that runs mine. I will say one thing. I do not recommend an OnlyFans agency.
Never.
Do not sign with one.
Never. It does not
I don't care
financially
who
make
you are
sense.
and how legit you think you are. That is unnecessary. Never, ever, ever hire someone, pay them by the hour
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
at most.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot on this
I've
podcast.
talked so much about how it just financially will never make sense to hire an entire management team for an OnlyFans unless you're making like an absurd amount of money, then it just doesn't make sense.
Let's talk about how much agents take from our shoots. So agents on average take 15%.
Yeah.
And if you're making $1,200 a scene, which is actually a higher rate, that's a raise. I think the starting is 1,000 sometimes. So 15%, you're paying $150. You
I'm
walk
not
away
sure
with
about-
$850. Or
My
right?
starting was either 20 or 25. That was my starting.
$2,500 per scene.
My very first 5 scenes. Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, that's because look at you. You're so adorable.
Stop. Quit it.
Seriously though, you have that standard,
I mean, I really appreciate
and
that.
you're very good at performing. Not everyone
wasn't.
has those standards.
Yeah.
Tiny, white,
That's
petite, no tattoos. These
That's
are the
true.
ones that they want you.
Yeah.
All of that is bullcrap. I'm tattooed. There are bigger girls that have more of a following than me. More tattooed girls. Shout out to Tiger Lily. She has a
she's beautiful.
huge industry, or she has a huge career.
Yeah. she's
And she
gorgeous.
is tatted, even her whole entire
gorgeous
body
inside
is
and out.
tatted.
She's
So,
a sweet girl.
all of those things that you hear to convince you that you get deserved to pay less is stupid.
Yeah.
Not only when the agents take 15%, they also charge the company a booking rate,
Yeah.
which is usually $100 to $200.
So they're already making what they would have made off of your percentage anyway. So they're making
Yeah.
double what they're making, and then they're pocketing it all. So they're making $400 or $500 per scene, and they're not even walking in there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, being an agent is finding a way to retire from doing the actual stuff. Obviously we're all sluts at the end of the day. We love doing what we do, but you don't get into this industry simply off of love of the game. Like nobody would sit here and show up to do a scene for free. Nobody. Not every single day. Maybe like because you picked somebody cool for them, or maybe because it's a really cool concept, or maybe because both. But every single day, none of us, nobody in this industry, I'll guarantee, I'll bet somebody's life on it. Nobody will show up every single day to set for free in this industry. Nobody. So with that logic, nobody says you have to stop shooting, but yeah, all of us need to find a way to set ourselves up for the future, because we can't do this job forever. You're not a spring chicken forever. It's not spring all year round. Okay. So,
For my future agency, I will not be taking a percentage of their income. I will just have my agent fee that the company pays.
You're better than me.
And then the girls and the guys will take their rate, and I will just have, it's more transparent and less manipulative.
That is pretty lit, though. That is pretty lit.
And that hopefully that inspires other agents to stop doing this whole weird thing. And part of them taking a 15% fee is because they want you to owe them money so that you are stuck in the position of working for them.
Oh,
I don't want them to owe me money ever. I get you a job, I get paid, you get paid. That's it.
See, and that, a lot of us are with so many different agents and agencies. The thing is, like, that's such a foreign concept to me, because my agent, he is so, like, he's a really, really good guy. Shout out Mark, ATMLA. ATMLA, I swear upon them, one of the best agencies in the whole biz. Very professional, will never trap you in nothing. Like, all these stories that I hear about, like, oh, like, the agent was pressuring her to do this and that. It's like such foreign things to me, because my agent never would ever in a million years even think about even close to pressuring me. If I was even like, I don't know if I'm feeling it, he would be like, oh, are you sure? Like, why not? You want to talk about it? Like, you good? Like, my agent's really fucking good. So I like I said, I just get lucky like that.
Yeah.
But also, when I first got in the industry, my first 5 scenes I did with the same director, and I don't know why he felt like I was the one that needed the help or whatever, because he sees new girls every week. Who
is that?
Matt. Oh, Fat Matt. Shout out to Fat Matt. I love you so much. I love you, dude. He directs porn pros. Literally, like to me, I see him as a father. Like, I'm not even kidding. He's like my porn dad. Like, I love him so much. But what's it? My industry father. Yeah. So like the first 2 scenes I had with him, like my old agent, he was a pretty crappy agent. He had me double booked. He had me flying out to like Arizona to shoot nubiles, and then flying me back in like secretly to do my Vegas scenes when I had a day off. And then Matt, the director, found out, and he got so mad. He was like yelling and like da-da-da. But he wasn't yelling at me. He was yelling at Matt. And I was like, oh shit. And then he's like, yeah, kid, sorry, I hate to tell you, but you got a really crappy agent. Just letting you know, like, this is gonna be an ongoing thing. Like, just letting you know, he's a very like to the point person, but like my family is a lot like that. And so I just felt very homey with him. Like, I just felt very comfortable when he was like telling me those things and stuff. And then like, I don't know, day 3 rolls around, and like I meet this girl who directs like browsers and stuff. And she's like, oh, you're awesome. Like, looking at me, loving me. She's like asking Matt about me. Matt's like, yeah, she's great. She's an amazing performer. Like, easy. It's been a very easy week, and she's brand new, like, hyping me up. And she's like, who's your agent? And I say my agent, and she's like, walks upstairs, didn't even finish the conversation. And I was like, oh wow. So that was like, I was like, Matt, like, what do I do? Like, this is not good. He's like, okay, I really shouldn't do this. Like, this is not my place at all, but I'm going to get you with a good agent. And he took it upon himself to take me from my crappy agent. And mind you, my crappy agent, he throws a fit. He all hell breaks loose when he don't get his way. So he's like screaming at Matt, why'd you let her leave? Da, 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 like blaming him, saying that he poached me or this or that. And
Dang. And if you would have had Angel's list.
Yeah, well,
Literally.
yeah. No, really though, on some real shit right there. If I had Angel's list back then, then things would be very, very different. I mean, I'm very thankful for how things went. I think everything went very perfectly for how it needed to go in my life path. But yeah, no, I mean, had I had her list, things would have gone a lot differently. Maybe I would have never worked with that agent. Maybe that would have never happened. But yeah, Matt, the director of that company, or one of the directors from that company, helped me get from my crappy agent to Mark. He was like, I think Mark would be a really good fit for you. He's a really good guy, like this and that. Like, you don't have to go with him. I'm just going to give you his contact information, have a conversation with him. If you vibe with him, go with him. If you don't, do whatever you want to do. But, here's a way out. And he bridged that way to, because I didn't know ATMLA. I didn't know Mark. I don't know how to get into contact with these people. I was so freaking new. I didn't know anything about anything. And so, yeah, without him, who knows what could happen to me? Who knows? All I knew was Hussy. And if I would sign with Hussy, oh my God, I'll say it on record now. I'll never sign with Hussy. I don't care. I'll say that with my chest. I'll say that to their face. Like, I don't care. That is one thing I've said that since as soon as I could figured out what Hussy was all about. I was like, I will never ever sign with Hussy. But when I first joined, I didn't know anything about that. You only know like 2 agencies, and like you're like, okay, those are my options. So yeah, without like good guidance and just being lucky to have met like the right people the whole time I was in the industry, I don't think I'd have such a great experience to speak on. I don't think I could be like, oh, well, nothing bad ever happened to me because da 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 da. So yeah, it's just about,
be careful saying things though, because that is defamation. And even though those things are true, these agents are sharks and they would love to make money off of suing you on this podcast.
Don't worry.
But I think
he
you
has
can
no
afford
money.
it.
He
I
could
think you
never.
you have to have money to sue people.
Yeah, you gotta have
I
money.
will say though, can I tell a little horror story?
Yeah.
So we all know who the most reputable agent is. I will not say his name.
Yeah.
Recently, I found out that he was sending girls overseas and booking them for 3 to 5 scenes a day. And the girls were ultimately making less than minimum wage. They are not allowed to say no to anything.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not allowed to say no to an overseas trip. They have to go or they get dropped from the site. And he uses really, really insane language with them. Like, I don't care about your safety or anything. Make as much money as you can off of the girl, to the foreign agents, calling them up and saying that. I speak to the foreign agents. Trust me, everyone talks to me. I am in contact with everybody. And I am constantly hearing about some of these agents.
Yeah.
They don't care if you're safe. The most reputable agent, he doesn't give a crap if you're safe. He cares if you make a lot of money. I was there for that phone call when he called a foreign agent and said that. I've seen multiple of his girls call me asking for how to get out of it. But they're so groomed into thinking that agent is their only option because he's the most reputable.
It's really not.
He even went on to say during an interview at AVN that he has shown up at girls' houses and drug them out of bed and forced them on set. That is, if someone doesn't want to go to a scene and you pull them physically out of their bedroom and put them on a set, you just forced that girl to do something against her will. That is messed up. And he's proud of it. He's my least favorite person in this industry, and I cannot wait to see him in person and tell him, oh, I've got shit coming for you.
I will never forget the story of him spitting on his hand and wiping it on the wall, then touching someone's head with that
I
same
also
hand.
saw him on a red carpet grab a black performer's braids and hold her like she was game. And it's
weird.
photographed.
It was weird.
So he's done. He will not be the most reputable after our interviews that are coming out about him. And we are so beyond insured. So we are not worried about ruining his reputation because I'm not really ruining it. I'm just exposing the reality of what it's like to be signed with him.
Yeah.
Actually, he is not even a legit agent. He is contract free. I don't think he's even licensed. And he tries to manipulate it. Oh, well, we don't have contracts because that's illegal. Or that's not illegal. That's just wrong to have a contract. No, it's not. It protects you because you have to be licensed.
What? Yeah.
You're not licensed.
I've never heard of not having a car.
Yeah.
Because if you're not licensed and you don't have like insurance and stuff either for that, then right?
Then you're illegally operating.
It's only when you say that, like, I'm protecting you by not having a contract. No, you just make a fair contract.
Yeah.
You know, like Myra and I have a contract.
Yeah,
and
we do.
And Myra's contract, if she doesn't want to do this anymore, she doesn't need a reason. She can just stop.
Yeah.
And if you put stuff like that to protect the performer and talent in the contract, then it is a good contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a thing where he's publicly said, if you no show, you get dropped. And he's had 2 girls get dropped for no showing.
Wait, to a scene?
Yeah.
Wait, well, like no show as in like.
That's why his agency is reputably known as the girls always show up.
Oh.
Well, they always show up because they're threatened and groomed into being afraid of not to. At the end of the day, we should always have, I actually believe in kill fees, but I think that you should also pay models kill fees. Everyone deserves a kill fee because we're all expecting money on that day. This is common in mainstream media. If the photographer doesn't show up, kill fee. If the model doesn't show up, kill fee. If the director cancels, kill fee. It's your booking rate for the day. It is what everyone deserves to get paid. If you don't show up to the shoot, you have to remember as a performer, director, model, that someone else is losing their income for the day.
Yeah.
So if you sign up for the shoot, there should be a certain deadline where after you've signed up, you're now in contract for that shoot. You have to show up unless you have, like a doctor's note. Like this should be a real regulated career.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Yeah. So that's something we're working on.
I will say I've never done like a total no show though. I've always let somebody know that I can't come in.
You should be allowed to to say I can't make it because of whatever reason. And most people should be lenient. But at the end of the day, I've had companies cancel on me and I've lost thousands of dollars that day on income.
Wow.
Yeah, because you could have been booked somewhere else.
Yeah.
Did you know I turned down a Team Skeet scene to be here today?
Aw.
Sorry, Team Skeet.
What? Wow.
This is
Thank you
like-
so much.
This is like a $1,400 interview right now.
Yeah, expensive.
Which I was like, come on, Team Skeet. I want more than that. But
Yeah.
I love working for them. Like we've worked for them together, watch our scenes together.
Oh yeah.
But I just really wanted to talk about this today. It was really
Yeah.
important to me. And
Oh, well,
it's
thank
fine.
you for coming on. I really appreciate that.
Of course.
Well, they're gonna have a scene for you tomorrow and the next day. anyway.
They love me.
Yeah.
They like send me merch all the time too. I love
Oh,
them.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, there's a lot going on. I do want to talk about some drama. So there was a lot of backlash after we did this. A lot of people have been asking me like, what has been going on with your Twitter lately? Because I will not let people bully me.
Yeah.
I want people to know that I am going to talk my shit back, but I'm going to do it correctly. There was a few performers that, their fans and them said that I was uneducated. And I said, okay, well, let's go diploma for diploma.
Bar for bar, band for band.
They didn't have any education. They said I was young. I Googled their birthdays. They were all younger than me by at least 2 years. They said that my awards were irrelevant. I have some of the most relevant awards from AVN. Not that I care, but if you're going to say that, hello.
Mm-hmm.
It was just insane, the amount of hate I got for doing this. But those specific performers, if you look at their scenes, they work with often that are no listed, canceled. They don't care about women's safety. So who gives a crap, really, what they have to say? But just know that if you're ever going to come for me, I will not stand down, and I know how to argue, and I will make you look like an idiot. And I will say when I'm wrong. I know I did make a mistake, and I spoke about someone else's story in that group chat, trying to set an example about why self-investigating allegations can be hard. Sometimes you just have to take them with a grain of salt and not ask too many questions because you're going to get misinformation.
Yeah.
And oh my God, the backlash was horrible. But instead of, critiquing me respectfully, they completely came after my education levels, which I have gone to school. I am very educated. It was just insane. And then one of them was like, I responded and I was like, trust me, like I am related to a politician. I know how this works. And they're like, well, your daddy's not going to come save you. And I'm like, isn't it funny that you hate women so much that you assumed it was my dad?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because the most educated and powerful person in my family is my mother.
Yeah.
So she's the one sitting in the seat. So it's really funny that they just don't believe in women. And those women are dangerous to work with. And they showed their true colors. And at the end of the day, one thing I say is all press is good press. If you want to talk shit, you're just sharing your followers with me. And I don't want to tell you who, but so many of your fans messaged me and said, what you were saying was wrong. And that was inappropriate. And the way that you guys affected my mental health was disgusting. I haven't experienced that level of bullying since like middle school. And even though I can stand up for myself, it affects you. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it doesn't. I tried to, but it affected me. Thank God I have a therapist. But it's just nasty behavior. We don't need to be doing witch hunts for people who are trying to help make the industry safer. If you want to make incest like they admitted that they do, just say that. Just own it, because the rest of us don't do that. We do not make illegal videos. We do not stand for that. We do not none of that's okay. As soon as we find out that anyone has done anything like that, you're getting put on a list. One thing I specifically saw was some models who they made a scene about they were dressed up as like Native Americans, indigenous people. And the title was, I Thought You Hated Thanksgiving. You might as well do blackface. Seriously, it's disgusting. And we tried to send them articles on how horribly affected Native American women are by being hypersexualized. And they had nothing educational or positive to say about it. They don't care. That's dangerous. That's dark. That's inappropriate. That's not pornography. That is a hate crime. And yeah, if you do shit like that, I'm sorry, I will call you out. I will never let someone, like, I'm a white woman who's half Mexican. I still am a white woman. I will speak up too for you. It's not okay. There's a difference between a fetish and then just doing absolutely hateful things.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's okay to make mistakes. Like, again, let's go back to 2020. We all learned a lot about racism, and a lot of us had to make public statements and apologize. Just do that. Just do better. Take some accountability. Ignorance isn't anything that you should be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
It should be something that you own up to.
It's a learning experience.
Mhm.
Ignorance is the lack of information.
Don't be a sellout. There's no type of hate crime that's going to make you super amazing and famous. It just makes you look terrible, and it hurts people, and it puts other people in danger. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's that. And that's my response to those people that came after me is, you made yourself look pathetic. I'm sorry to say that to another woman, but you made yourself look terrible. And you showed your true colors, and you show what kind of illegal that you're involved in. And none of us want anything to do with you. And it's a shame that you have a platform. An absolute shame. You should leave the industry. Please.
Go off.
Oh my God.
You're so well spoken. I love it.
Thank you.
It's like, what? They like just picked the wrong person.
Yeah.
You know
Don't
what I
pick a
mean?
bone with me. That's why I'm going to be very protective of the girls. Like,
Right.
you come after one of my girls on set, or if one of my girls makes a mistake, I'm sorry, you're coming over. It's like when you get the, I'm not mad at you, I'm disappointed in you talk.
Mhm.
And it's like worse. Yeah, no, I will be very transparent. One of my my best friends is my OnlyFans coach. And I love that she will tell me when I'm wrong. And also Serena Hill. She will always say, Angel, you shouldn't have said that. And instead of arguing, I'm like, okay, thank you. Because like, how many times do I mess up? Sometimes I say things that I don't mean, or I'm ignorant.
Yeah.
It happens. I'm growing up too, guys. I'm 27 years old. I'm still developing
Yeah. We all are.
myself as a person too.
Mhm.
So accountability is huge. And that's how you gain respect. And yeah.
Yeah,
that's it.
no, that's a huge thing. I mean, that's one thing I've learned, throughout my life is like, when you're younger, you try to hide the bad things you do. You try to lie, you try to get your way out of them. But, as you get older, you realize just how much easier it is to just be like, yeah, you know what? I did that, and I'm sorry. I'm holding myself accountable, and, I'm going to learn from this experience, and let's all move on. And it does not better. It's not just better for you. It's also better for everyone involved, because they feel like, okay, like I'm heard, I'm seen. This won't happen again, XYZ. Like, yeah, the easiest thing in life is to just
Own
accept the ignorance that you hold on to, educate yourself, and move on, and ask for forgiveness. And whoever forgives you, whoever doesn't, and you move on, and that's that. So, yeah, it's actually a pretty beautiful lesson.
I mean, there are a couple scenes that I'm ashamed of.
yeah,
and
we've done some scenes together. Hell, you know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't had,
we've all been there, but I will publicly state that I am ashamed of those scenes.
Yeah,
I was ignorant.
Well, yeah.
I was really needing money.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was signing up for that day till I got there, and I was
sometimes
scared.
we don't get the script till we get on set. Sometimes
Just say that. Instead of trying to defend your mistake.
Yeah, just be like, well, hell.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe you're wrong. Maybe you fucked up. Maybe you should own it.
Yeah.
So
that's okay. We all have scenes. We all have scenes that we are not the proudest of, whether it be because of that or because of just simply a performance. We all have that shit out there. So they just need to own up and just move on.
And then the other thing is, don't be afraid to speak up about things. For example, a lot of people don't like to do the no listing or post their allegations because now they're a liability, and companies won't hire you. It's actually a really great way to sift out the companies that have dangerous sets, because they want to cover up a behavior that's illegal or unsafe. And they don't want to hire you because they think, oh, she might speak up if we mess up.
Yeah.
Don't mess up.
Yeah.
You're the liability as a company. I thought that maybe after starting this union, I would be unable to get work, but my calendar has been full as ever.
Yeah.
I've been turning down scenes. I don't have time for them.
Yeah.
The right companies will respect it and own it and support you and try to keep you going. And doing that actually helps us all out. Right. So being brave enough to tell your story is great. If you want, you can also anonymously send your story to me, and we will anonymously post it in the group chat. And you can just notify the girls. Or I could post it for you. Again, we are protected.
Yeah, and I think those companies are smart because they know where you're headed, and they're like, we need to be on the right side of history.
Yeah.
Let's support her.
Yeah,
That's
if I work
awesome.
with Angel Windell, I now am reputably safer because I'm trying not to work with people that have any issues. And if I have in the past, it's because we didn't have this forum where I could talk to
Yeah.
girls, and I learned about some people I worked with, and it's horrifying.
Yeah.
I wish I
and-
could go back in time, but I can't.
And like you said earlier, like maybe you were ignorant of
Yeah, I was.
the dangers
We
of
all
certain
are.
people.
And you can't ever come into this industry knowing everything. You can't.
Yeah.
And then that's why it's so important with what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
For
Oh,
sure.
I forgot to say when we talked about, this is so random, but the AVN Awards, I just want to say this one more time. My Best Boy Girl Scene Award is dedicated to all the trans performers in this industry who are under-recognized. Like, let's just reiterate that one more time.
Yes.
Thank you to our trans performers
Yes.
for being the backbone of this industry.
Yes.
Being an advocate for women's rights and safety. We're here for you. You are welcome in this group chat. And if anyone ever crosses you, you call me. Mama has you. I got you. Seriously.
No, seriously. Big shout out to our trans performers. They do
and
not get enough credit.
I will be definitely
I stand
signing
on that.
trans performers as well. That
Yeah.
is completely
Yeah, we love
on my
that.
radar.
Yeah.
And and I also want to hold XBiz accountable for not having a safe location for XBiz Miami, where it's unsafe for trans performers to go. So I will not be attending and boycotting that. Please do better.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
But shout out to our trans performers. That is also, I'm very glad you brought that up. That's a
100%.
hill that I really want to die on. I have a lot of trans performers that I'm really close to. And
Also, aren't there awards like separated? Don't they have like their
It's disgusting.
Yeah, why
we should
why
all
is
have
it
it in the
not-
same
yeah,
exact.
exactly.
That's why I went up there and I said that. That was the one thing I always promised. I don't think you were there. Maybe
Yeah.
I said this to my friends. I was like, if I ever won an AVN award like down the road, I didn't think it would be that year. Like 5 years from now, I'm going to dedicate my award to trans performers. And I'm so glad when I was up there on stage, I remembered that because I was like blacking out from the anxiety of being
Yeah.
up there. But it was cool because when I walked off stage, there was a lot of people with tears in their eyes and were very thankful. That visibility is important. And anytime you can use your platform to speak up for them, do it, please. We need to make sure we protect them. They are our family. They are equals. I don't even like to say they as if we're different. We're
Trans
family.
women-
We're all citizens. We're all humans.
Trans women created us. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all.
Yeah, it's true. Our
They
culture is
created
like
us. Like,
so-
I don't think y'all get it. Trans
Yeah.
women are the fucking blueprint to everything. Like, they deserve so much more credit and flowers. Like, they are literally the blueprint. But
Yeah.
let me not.
and trans men too.
Yeah, trans men too.
Are you
But
tearing up a
a
little?
little. I love trans women.
We love trans
The
performers.
only reason I even know about that the awards are separated because someone who I worked with a handful of times, named is Jason Ellis. He hosted the trans awards. I think last year or the year before, and he like I we'll bleep it out if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he went on a big rant against AVN for not having trans awards.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, so AVN has trans awards. They're just in a separate category than the straight awards, but also the gay AVNs are as well. But they're a whole different night. So it's like they're all kind of, and then we also have some trans awards that are mixed in with straight awards because it's like trans and
Maybe he was calling out a different.
It's discrimination
award
at the
season,
end of the day. We should
Yeah.
all be celebrated together because we are all equal. Gender is
I just
nothing
think
to
there
be
needs to be more
separated.
trans categories, like more.
We need more of them too,
Yeah.
and we need to be announcing them on stage.
Yeah, 100%. That shouldn't be one of the forgotten ones.
I think that they did better this year
They did
because
do
there was
better.
a big backlash. I remember my first AVN last year after the awards, I went in the bathroom and the bathroom was full of trans women bawling their eyes out. They were so upset that they didn't show any of their awards on the TV.
so.
So this year after the backlash, they did better, but there's a lot more they could do. So hopefully soon we have one big ceremony where we start with the trans awards. Let's start with them because they are literally, like you say, the backbone of our industry. Our culture in America is so inspired. Music, fashion,
so much
makeup.
femininity is inspired by trans
Femininity.
women. So much music,
They are
fashion, just
femininity.
Yeah.
And trans men are the strongest, most amazing men on the planet.
And I'll say, like, speaking for myself as also being a 2-time AVN nominee.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
you know,
right,
if
right.
I'm getting nominated, then there's definitely room for
Yeah,
for
I'm saying, right? Like,
more categories.
Bro said I just got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think that's a really high note to end on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, Angel, where can the people find you?
Well, I'm usually like the Angel Windell on stuff. You just Google my name and usually Angel Windell, it'll link you to like my Twitter, Instagram. But I also want to plug my beauty page
Please
because I just
do.
got it going. So if you guys can go
Yes.
support that, it's Windell Beauty. And then the agency pages, you won't see them till next year. But any support, spreading my name around, talking to agents, telling them I'm coming out, talking to directors, telling them to be ready to book you through me, that really helps get me reputable. So I appreciate all the support and thank you guys for having me here and letting me talk about some serious stuff. I love that we both cried.
Yeah, a little bit.
I love this podcast and respect to whoever won podcast of the year, but to me, you guys are podcast of the year.
Oh,
Like,
thank
this
you so
podcast
much.
is awesome.
I love you, Angel.
Yeah,
We're
I
love
love
having
You're
you.
always welcome to come back whenever
Yeah.
you want.
Thank
We have a
you.
spot for you.
I tried dressing professional today.
We love
Oh, I want to
it.
show the heels.
The heels before we go.
Blur my toes.
Yes. Ash,
QR over it.
Ash, where can the people find you?
Oh, yes. Find me on IG at Ash Casanova Comedy and OF at Ash Casanova.
Awesome. And if y'all already don't know where to find me, if you don't already know, at Myra Moans on literally everything. Thank you for watching another episode of Poddy Break, and we'll see you next time.